Hello, Aries. I'm DanielleStimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and these are your tarot cards for November of 2022. Please go ahead and check out your sun, moon, and rising if you know them to get a more holistic and accurate overview of your month ahead. And definitely check out the overview video that I filmed for this month to let you know of the relevant astrology and fill in some of the gaps as well. So let's dive right in. Okay, Aries, so the first card that we start out the month with is the Hanged Man. This is actually right side up for you. The Hanged Man has to do, it's a very spiritual card, even though it might not look it. This is a card of someone who is, this is the focus card, by the way. This is a card of someone who is in a position of needing to see things from a new perspective. And it's also sacred surrender, allowing yourself to simply let go and see what shakes in, what shakes out, being open to not so much being a controlling force in your own life, but letting things show up as they need and then making your decisions accordingly. It's one of introspection and one of broad-mindedness, open-mindedness, being willing to see things from a new vantage point. So that's your focus for this month. It's a major arcana, of which you, by the way, have 3 out of the 5. The next card that comes up is the starting point for your month. And for you, that is Death in Reverse. Death right side up would be not death, doom and gloom, and look out, it's scary. No. This is how you're starting the month. And death in and of itself is about things that reach their natural ending, their natural time, where you let one thing go and you transcend to something else. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like in a career, you leave one job for another because you're moving up a ladder. That would be an example of death and rebirth, endings and beginnings. Death in reverse has to do with feeling stuck, unwillingness to let go, not knowing what to let go of, where or how, this sense of maybe even indecisiveness. So you have this very much stuckness. It's like, I'm ready for something new. Maybe I know what it is. Maybe I'm not quite sure. You probably have a pretty good idea. And there's this sense of, I don't know what to let go of. I'm just kind of sitting here biding my time. The good news is that by the end of the month, you're going to know where you're going a little bit better, and you're definitely not going to be as stuck or weighed down. It's definitely not going to be like the easiest tour, but it's not going to be the hardest either, not by far. So yeah, this is where you're starting off the month. The challenge for this month that you have is represented by 7 of Wands. Wands are action, and the 7 of Wands, I usually describe this card as know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. And here we have a gentleman walking down these stairs. He's got a rod. He probably wasn't expecting to use it, and all of a sudden he's been come upon by a few people saying, hey, what about this? What about that? Often the wisdom sacred in the underlying meaning of this card can often be everybody's coming at you. Sometimes you recognize those faces of people coming at you. It's not a card of betrayal by any means. It can be for some folks, but a little less so this month. This is a card of action and mundane every day because it's minor arcana. I would say this card represents the challenges are all of those things that you feel stuck about, that you feel like you don't know which to let go of or how, or just I'm holding on and I don't know why. This is, hey, well, the good news is these things are going to come up and show themselves to you. Know when to hold them is like, hey, I'm not even going to do this. Let's talk about it. Know when to fold them. So holding your fight and standing up for yourself, folding, just saying like, okay, fine. I'm down. I'm out. Let's be done with this. know when to walk away, like just like, okay, I'm going to keep going my way. Know when to run away. Like, oh, wow, I've really seen this thing for what it is. And you know what? I'm out. It could be any number of those things. For many of us, the sense that I get is sort of, oh, wow, all of these things are coming at me at once. This is deeply uncomfortable. Let me see which are the most important. Let me prioritize. And it leaves little room to try to fight all of these different things and to try to put out all of the proverbial fires. It makes you have to focus on which fires are going to be put out when and kind of putting things to the back burner. It helps you kind of separate the wheat from the chaff a little bit, which is not a bad thing. Next, so that's the challenge. Good news is that the challenge card is a minor arcana. The course of action card, if you should choose to take it, cards of actions, inactions, how to show up, how to work with this energy, all of that. It's judgment. Now, with justice, we think of justice as like justice is blind, right? Justice has the blindfold and the scales are very much about like they have to weigh equal, and it's not about seeing all the different aspects. This card is much more spiritual and much more evolved. It's not about, well, the scales have to be equal. It's about finding resolution in the best possible way. Sometimes we can only find resolution by saying, I'm never going to be made whole, and I'm going to find peace with that. This is a card of wrapping up the things that we saw here so that we can free ourselves and move forward in the best possible way. Sometimes that is letting go of things that we hope turned out one way and turned out another. Sometimes that is letting a little more fall in someone else's side of the scale because it benefits you in the long term. Sometimes it's things are actually benefiting you. It's a matter of, what have I taken from this? What can I learn? Tying up some loose ends in a very satisfying kind of way most of the time, but not all of the time. So yeah, best course ahead is judgment. Deciding on a deeper spiritual level what we're going to leave behind and what we're going to take with us. And we end with the whispers from our guides, the card that represents, if your guides could send you a note, what would it be? And it's the Seven of Coins. Seven of Coins is a card of, coins is often seen as, it's often called pentacles. It has to do with resources. And there's a lot of resources coming up this month for everyone. Seven of Coins is, if you think of the parable of like a farmer, say like he has an orchard, he's looking up at the fruit trees and going, am I getting out of this harvest what I put into it? And yet also knowing, the wisdom here is that the fruit is not yet ripe. It's still got some time to go. This is usually a card of, okay, you feel like you're ready. You've been doing all this work. You're waiting for the next thing to shift, which is part of what's keeping you stuck in this upside down kind of death thing. What this is basically saying is, as you start to wrap up the things this month and find that resolution, know that these things that you've been building and working on are going to come to fullness. They are going to turn ripe soon, very soon. So this is your guide saying, like, try not to worry. All of that effort you put in, it was not in vain. Things will bloom for you in a much better way in the very near future. So with that, I want to send you lots of love, all of you Aries. Aries is my rising sign, so I will be with you in all of these themes this month. If you do need some support, join me for community distance Reiki 5 times a week. Go ahead and subscribe with the notification bell on so that you don't miss an opportunity and we can get through this together. So thank you so much for being here. All of the information about me, Discord, Crystal Shop, online Reiki classes, and social media is all in the description below. Have a beautiful November, and I hope to see you again next month. Take care and bye for now.